We are going to talk about Unity UI. Unity UI, in simple words, is used to design and create user interfaces for games and applications. In this session specifically, we are going to talk about one of the components of Unity UI, which is your UI canvas. So what is UI canvas? Canvas is created as a game object with a canvas component attached to it. So whenever you create a canvas inside Unity, it is always created as a game object which will have a canvas component attached to it. Canvas is displayed as a rectangle in the scene view. So every canvas will have a rect transform component attached to it. All other UI elements should be inside of a canvas. So canvas will be always or should be a parent of all other UI elements or UI components. All the elements inside the canvas are drawn in the order they appear in the hierarchy. Now there are three render modes for the canvas. First is your screen space overlay, which places the UI elements on the screen rendered on the top of the scene. So this is basically like a overlay screen on the top of the scene. Screen space camera. Canvas is placed at a specific distance from the camera. Canvas scaler component. It simply controls the scale and pixel density of the UI elements. Scale is your size and pixel density is the number of pixels in the given area basically for the UI elements. Now there are some scale modes available in canvas scaler component. First is your constant pixel size. The size in pixels for the UI elements remain constant here irrespective of the screen size. Second is your scale with screen size. Scales the UI elements on the bigger screen sizes. The UI elements placed on the canvas will scale up according to the screen size here if you choose the canvas scaler component. Lastly, we have constant physical size. The physical size of the UI elements remain constant irrespective of the screen size. So I'm here in the Unity editor. We have already created a scene and the name of the scene is UI scene. Let's create a canvas component here. So how do we do that? Right click here on the UI scene and select game object and then select UI here. Inside UI, we will have to choose canvas here. Okay. And that's it. Our canvas component here is added to the scene. We won't be able to see anything here because we have not added any elements. Basically, this will be a parent of all other UI elements like text boxes and buttons and etc. We have a rect transform component attached automatically or added automatically to the canvas game object. Rect transform basically will place all the other UI elements inside the specified area or the canvas. Okay, so as we all can see here again, some values driven by the canvas. So this is a non-editable rect transform. We cannot edit it right now because render mode to screen space overlay or screen space camera, then we won't be able to edit the canvas rect transform. But if we change it to world space, then we will be able to change or modify the rect transform here. Okay, then we have canvas scaler here. First is your constant pixel size, then we have scale with screen size, and we have constant physical size. In Unity, in this session, we are going to talk about UI text in Unity. So what is UI text in Unity? Very simple. It displays a piece of information or a text to the user which is generally non-interactive. So this information can be a score, a health, number of coins, etc., which are generally displayed using UI text in the game or in a scene. UI text component is attached to a game object. This means when you create a UI text component, a game object is created to which UI text component is attached to. Now there are some of properties for a text element, UI text element. These are font. Font is used by the text, the font that is used by the text, the font size, which specifies the size of the font style, styling or the style that is used by the text. Text is the value the text component displays. Line spacing is specifies font line height. And alignment is positioning of the text middle, center, top, bottom. Okay, now let's get into the Unity editor and let's create a UI text element inside Unity. Okay guys, so I am in the Unity editor, and to create UI text, it's similar to how we created Unity canvas. Right click on the UI scene here and go to game object and select UI and select your text element here. And here it is, your text is created, so we can see text on the screen over here. So this is a text game object here, which will have a rect transform here, which is editable. We can modify the position to it. Now text game object will have component text attached to it. Now you can see here, this is where we can put in the text. Okay, so right now it's new text, so let's put a long text here. This, let's try to change it so that we can see the entire content. Font style is normal. We can change it to bold, and italic. So let's change it to bold here. Then we can increase or decrease the font size. So let's change it to 18 here. Okay, so it's become bigger now. In the paragraph, this is alignment, where we can align the text basically. Let's keep it in the center. This rectangle that you can see here is the rect transform for the text box. Then we have horizontal overflow here. We have a long text and we are not able to view the text, the entire text. So right now it's a wrap. We can change it to overflow, but still we are not able to see. So what we can do is we can click here and increase the rect transform for the text. Let's keep this wrap here and let's increase this. Okay, let's increase this according to our text. Let's change the text color here. Let's keep it to red. Here it is. So that's it guys. In this session, we are going to talk about UI image component in Unity. What is an UI image component? UI image component displays an image to the user on the screen. UI image component can be used as icons, backgrounds for the text components, etc. So there are various scenarios for which UI image component can be used for. UI image requires source image or texture to be a sprite. So the source image or the image for the image component has to be a sprite. What is a sprite? Sprite is a simple 2D graphical object having textures on them. Now there are few properties for an UI image component. What are these properties? Source image. Source image is basically the image to be displayed in the form of a texture or a sprite. Then we have another property, which is color. Color specifies the color applied to the image. Then we have material. Material is the material used to render the image. Preserve aspect. Preserve aspects preserves the aspect or actual dimensions of the image. Set native size. It changes the dimensions of the image rect transform to the actual pixel size of the texture. Then we have one more property for the UI image component, which is image type. Image type will specify how the image is displayed on the screen. There are 4 image types which can be used. First is your simple. In this image type, images are stretched to fit rect transform of the image component or the image game object. Then we have sliced. Sliced specifies a sliced image for rectangular elements or decorated boxes. Then we have tiled. Image with the repetition of sprites. So the sprites or the textures are in repetition manner if we select the image type to tiled. Then lastly, we have a fill type, which is a partial image generally useful for your countdowns, timers, etc. Okay, now let's get into the Unity editor and let's create an UI image component. So here it is guys, I am here in the Unity editor. Let's create our UI image component here in the scene. Okay, so how do we do that? Right click here on the UI scene, go to game object, select UI here and click on image here. And we have created our image component inside the scene. Right now it's blank because we have not attached any source image here. This source image has to be a sprite. So to attach a source image, let's create a sprite inside Unity. So how do we do that? Let's create a folder here. So just right click here inside the assets and go to create here and click on folder. Okay, let's rename the folder to sprites and just open the folder. This is the image that we are going to use. So let's just drag and drop this image into the sprites folder here. So just drag and drop the image here. Okay, so right now this image by default is in image format. So we need to change it to a sprite format. So how do we do that? Click here on default and select sprite 2D and UI here and click on apply here. Okay, so we have created our sprite. Let's attach this sprite to the image component. So click on image component again. Okay, and click here and select this avatar, which is a sprite now. Okay, and that's it. We can see our UI image component added inside the scene. Then we have preserve aspect here. Preserve aspect will actually preserve the original dimensions of the image. So let's change the width to 150. Okay, so right now it's not looking good. It's looking little stretched. So if you choose preserve aspect here, it will return the actual dimensions of the image. So let's see what is native size here. This is a rect transform for the image. So once we click on this native size, it will return or change the rect transform, this rectangle here, to the actual pixel size of the texture. Okay, so let's just click on set native size here. Okay, and that's it. It has modified the rect transform to the actual pixel size of the texture. So that's it, guys. That's it for the image component here.